Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into a book that really caught my eye, The Empowerment Guide by Mola Bugging Matip-Wheelie.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, it's a 12-chapter ebook.
12
It's
chapter.
packed with tools and strategies for empowering yourself. So
Yeah.
quite a bit there.
Sounds intense.
Right, 12 chapters.
Yeah.
It sound a little daunting,
Mm-hmm.
but think of it as a treasure chest, right? Filled with all these gems of wisdom.
I like that.
And we're here to kind of help you sift through it all
Okay.
and really find those nuggets that are going to be most valuable.
Yeah, you can tell right from the introduction how much Mola Boging really wants to help people unlock their potential.
Oh, for sure.
It's not just some vague self-help advice. It's like a really practical roadmap with actionable strategies
Absolutely.
you can apply right away.
Yeah, and one of the things I really liked was the focus on like shifting your mindset
Mm-hmm.
and building new habits. It's like you're upgrading your internal software to make it work better for you,
Right.
to have a more empowered life.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
So we're talking about things like setting intentions, self-awareness, even mindfulness.
Right.
All these things that we can actually cultivate.
Yeah.
And then what also struck me was how much emphasis Mola Boging puts on reflection
Yeah.
and celebration.
Ah, that's important.
Right. I feel like so often we get so caught up in like striving for that next goal
Yeah.
that we forget to actually pause and be like, oh, wow, look at what I did.
Oh,
Celebrate those wins along the way.
Yes.
And this book actually reminds us to do that, which is so cool.
Yeah.
So should we jump into some of these chapters?
Let's do it.
All right. Chapter 1 focuses on setting intentions.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people talk about goals.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people have set goals at some point.
Yeah.
But they miss this really crucial step,
Okay, what's that?
which is making sure that those goals actually align with their core values.
Ah.
And this chapter really helps you with that.
Yeah. It all begins with really understanding your values, right?
Right.
Those guiding principles that kind of shape your choices and even give your life meaning.
Yeah.
And Mola Boging uses this really powerful analogy.
Okay.
Imagine your life is like a blank canvas.
Mm.
What masterpiece do you want to create?
Oh, I like that.
And how do your values kind of act as the guiding principles for that vision,
Right.
for that artistic vision?
It's such a cool way to think about it.
Yeah.
And to help you uncover those values,
Yeah.
the book provides this thing called the values assessment exercise.
Values assessment.
Yeah. So you rank your top values.
Okay.
And you reflect on how they actually show up in your life already.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of like you're taking inventory of your internal compass.
Yeah. Love that.
And then once you've got that compass all calibrated,
Right.
you can start setting goals that really are in alignment with what matters to you.
Totally.
And that's where the SMART goals worksheet comes in.
Ah. Yeah.
Have you heard of SMART goals before?
Oh, yeah.
Specific, measurable,
Achievable.
achievable,
Yeah.
relevant,
Time bound.
time-bound. So it really helps you kind of like take out the guesswork
Yeah.
of goal setting and really create that roadmap.
Like a plan.
Yeah,
I love a good plan.
me too. But, you know, some people aren't into all that word stuff.
Right.
They're more visual.
Visual learners.
So the book also has this vision board activity.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, where you actually bring your goals to life
Okay.
using images and words and symbols that resonate with you.
It's almost like you're creating a visual representation of your dreams,
Exactly.
your aspirations.
And it's so cool because it really taps into the power of visualization.
Totally.
And it keeps your goals top of mind. Imagine having that vision board. You see it every day.
Yeah, it's like a constant reminder of what you're working towards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, chapter 2. We move on to building self-awareness.
Okay.
It's almost like Mola Boging is saying, okay, before you go out and conquer the world,
Right.
you got to conquer yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Self-awareness is like the foundation of personal growth.
The foundation.
Yeah, if you don't understand your strengths, your
Yeah.
weaknesses,
For
they
motivation.
can't really make meaningful progress.
Right. It's hard.
Yeah.
And so this chapter really goes deep into exploring your inner landscape.
Ooh, interesting.
Right. And one of the techniques that stood out to me was the challenge journal.
Challenge journal.
It's not about dwelling on the past, though.
Right, right.
It's about using past experiences as these data points,
Ah.
right? To understand your patterns,
Yeah.
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Have you ever used a technique like this?
You know, I have, and it can be pretty revealing, actually.
Yeah.
You start to see how often we keep repeating the same patterns.
Oh, yeah.
without even realizing it.
Oh, totally.
So by bringing those patterns into our awareness,
We can start to make different choices.
right,
And that's what the challenge journal helps you do.
it's like becoming a detective of your own life,
Ooh, I love that.
right? And speaking of uncovering hidden patterns, there's also the strengths inventory.
Strengths inventory.
And this is where you actually identify your positive qualities.
Okay.
Like think back to those times where you really demonstrated those strengths.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing your superpowers.
Yes.
And like, hey, remember when you used them?
Yeah.
Use them effectively.
It's so easy to focus on our weaknesses, but it's so important to actually identify our strengths too.
Absolutely.
Helps you build confidence, and then you can use those strengths to achieve your goals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are the growth mindset exercises.
Growth mindset.
So this is all about reframing challenges,
Right.
seeing them as opportunities
Yeah.
for learning,
Yeah.
for growth.
It's like looking at mistakes as stepping stones.
Exactly. This chapter really emphasizes the power of perspective.
It is so important to have a growth mindset.
Yeah.
It lets you see setbacks not as defeats, but as opportunities
Right.
to learn and to adapt and to become even more resilient.
Yeah.
It's like developing your own internal shock absorber for life.
I love that.
Right.
Now, are you ready to step into the peaceful garden of chapter 3?
I am. Let's go.
It's all about cultivating mindfulness.
Oh, mindfulness.
Right. So mindfulness, it's more than just a trendy buzzword.
Yeah, you're really...
It's actually a practice that can, literally rewire your brain for greater peace,
Wow.
greater focus.
Wow.
Imagine, applying mindfulness to your daily commute.
Ooh, okay.
Right. Instead of getting all stressed out about the traffic, you're noticing the colors of the sky, you're feeling the breeze on your skin,
Yeah.
you're appreciating the simple act of breathing. This chapter gives you all these techniques
Okay.
to help you find those mindful moments throughout your day.
That sounds really helpful.
Yeah. And so Molleboking encourages you to kind of explore different mindfulness practices,
Oh, okay.
like meditation,
Meditation, yeah.
deep breathing, yoga, walking.
Walking.
See what works for you,
Yeah.
what resonates.
So do it fits in your life.
Exactly. It's about finding those techniques that bring you that sense of calm and presence.
Right. It's fascinating how, just practicing mindfulness can transform how you experience daily life.
Oh, for sure.
Just by bringing awareness to routine activities,
Yeah.
you can find those little moments of peace
Right.
and appreciation even in the middle of a busy day.
Exactly. And then, got to have a journal for everything.
Right.
So there's a mindfulness journal.
Oh, a mindfulness journal.
Yeah, to help you track your mindfulness journey.
Okay.
You can note down those subtle shifts that you're noticing
Oh, that's cool.
and see how this practice is actually shaping your well-being.
Journaling is such a powerful tool
Yeah.
for self-reflection, especially with mindfulness. It's like you're capturing those experiences, you're identifying patterns,
Yeah.
you're tracking your progress.
Yeah. Okay, now chapter 4 tackles something I think we all struggle with at some point.
What's that?
Overcoming fear and doubt.
Ooh, yes.
Right. And Molleboking has this amazing metaphor in this chapter.
Yeah.
Imagine you're standing at the edge of a lake
Okay.
and there's this mist that's representing your fears and your doubts.
The miss.
Yeah. And so with each step forward you take, that mist starts to clear.
Oh, I like that.
It's such a powerful way to visualize how facing our fears step by step actually brings more clarity
Yeah.
and empowers us to move beyond those limitations.
It's about understanding that fear and doubt are often based on these limiting beliefs
Right.
and assumptions that we have rather than actual reality.
Exactly.
So when you challenge those beliefs,
Right.
you can really free yourself to pursue what you truly want.
Yes. What are some of the strategies that resonated with you from this chapter?
Well, the fear inventory is a great starting point.
Oh, yeah.
It's about identifying those fears,
Right.
bring them out into the open.
Yeah.
So you can really look at them. Often our fears just feel so much bigger
Right.
and scarier when they're lurking in the shadows.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't even want to name them.
Right.
But this is like shining a light on them
Yeah.
and really seeing them for what they are.
Exactly.
And then you have these thought reframing techniques.
Oh, yeah.
Reframing is so powerful.
Yeah.
It lets you shift your perspective,
Yeah.
challenge those negative thought patterns,
Yeah.
and adopt a more empowering outlook.
It's like you're taking those negative thoughts captive
Right.
and replacing them with something that actually affirms and supports you.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to actually facing those fears,
Yeah.
Bugging talks about taking small steps,
Small steps, right?
breaking down the big, scary challenges
Okay.
into smaller, more manageable tasks.
Mhm.
It's about taking action, even if it's just one tiny step at a time.
Small steps can lead to massive breakthroughs.
They can.
Right.
It's so true.
Every journey, no matter how big, begins with a single step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the key takeaway here is consistency,
Consistency.
right? It's like building a muscle.
Yeah.
The more you face your fears, the stronger you become.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
I like that.
Speaking of strength, chapter 5 is all about building resilience,
Ooh, resilience. Yeah.
which is something I think we all need a little more of these days.
They do.
Mullaboging actually compares it to a tree weathering a storm,
Oh.
with its roots digging deeper
Okay.
for strength.
I see.
Right. It's about developing that ability to bounce back from adversity,
Right.
learn from failures, and keep a positive outlook.
Resilience is like having that internal shock absorber we were talking about.
It is.
For those inevitable bumps in life,
Yeah.
you're going to hit them.
Yeah.
Might as well be prepared.
Right. This chapter really resonated with me,
Oh, in what way?
especially the part about really assessing your coping mechanism.
Coping mechanism.
Right. Like, what are the ones that are actually helpful?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of the ones that are not so helpful,
Oh, yeah.
that maybe we could swap out for something that actually supports us better.
Yeah, I think we often underestimate the power of our support systems, too.
Oh, for sure.
Having those people around you
Yeah.
makes all the difference when you're going through challenges
Totally.
and trying to build up your resilience.
Yeah. And that actually leads us perfectly into chapter 6, which is all about nurturing relationships.
Okay.
Mullaboging uses this really vivid image
Okay.
of a garden filled with all these different flowers,
Mm,
each one representing a relationship.
I like that.
A garden.
Right. Such a beautiful analogy.
Mhm.
Just like a garden needs tending to thrive,
Right.
so do our relationships.
They need some love. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about recognizing that relationships, just like gardens, require ongoing nurturing.
Yeah.
You can't just plant them and walk away.
Let them grow wild.
Yeah, you got to water them,
Give them sunlight.
weed them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Give them that attention. And so it's about investing time, effort, energy
Uh-huh.
into building and maintaining those connections
Okay.
through active listening,
Mm.
empathy, open communication.
It's tending to the garden of relationships.
It is.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was really cool in this chapter
Mm-hmm.
was something called the relationship inventory.
Okay.
Have you ever done a relationship inventory?
I think I have at some point.
It's really about taking stock, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
of all the relationships in your life
Mm-hmm.
and seeing, which ones are truly flourishing
Right.
and which ones maybe need a little extra TLC.
A little extra love.
Yeah, maybe a little more attention and care.
It encourages you to look at which ones are really giving back to you, which ones are supportive and nourishing.
Right. Are there any that might be draining your energy?
Yeah. Or maybe even holding you back a little bit.
It's about being intentional, right?
Okay.
About where you invest your time and energy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like pruning the garden,
It is. It's getting rid of those things
letting go of the dead leaves.
that aren't serving you anymore.
Yeah.
So that new growth can actually come in.
Make space for the good stuff.
Exactly. And then, of course, we have, once again, active listening.
Active listening. It's so important.
It's so important. It's like this fundamental skill for building strong relationships.
Yeah.
And yet so many of us, I think, struggle with it.
Yeah.
What were some of the key things you got from the book on active listening?
Oh, well, the book really highlights the importance of truly hearing the other person
Mm-hmm.
and like really understanding their perspective,
Yeah.
not just, waiting for your turn to talk,
Oh, yeah.
which I think a lot of us are guilty of.
We're all guilty of that.
But it's about being present,
Yeah.
paying attention to their words, their
Mhm.
body language,
Right.
and asking clarifying questions
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure you're on the same page.
It's like really trying to see the world
Yeah.
through their eyes, even if
Step into their shoes.
it's different from yours.
Yeah.
It's about that empathy and understanding.
And then there's the importance of making time for each other, quality time.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to let relationships slip away
They do.
when we get busy.
Yeah.
But when you actually schedule that time in,
Right.
whether it's a dinner with your family once a week or even grabbing coffee with a friend once a month,
Mm-hmm.
it ensures that you're making those connections a priority.
It's like putting it in your calendar.
Yes, like a meeting.
Right. Just like you would a work meeting or a doctor's appointment.
You got to make time for the people you care about.
Absolutely. So chapter 7 flows beautifully from nurturing relationships into effective communication.
Okay.
And it starts with this, like, really calming image.
Okay.
Imagine you're sitting by a peaceful river,
Hmm.
and your words are flowing like that river.
Okay.
Clear, respectful, life-giving.
It should feel good. It
Yeah.
shouldn't feel harsh or forced.
Exactly. It's a good reminder that communication should be about connection and understanding,
Yeah.
not about, like, winning an argument
Oh, yeah.
or proving a point.
No one wins in an argument.
No one wins. So Molly defines effective communication as, like, conveying your message
Okay.
clearly and concisely,
Mm-hmm.
but also respectfully,
Yeah.
using active listening, which we talked about,
Right.
and using language that is both assertive but empathetic.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that you're getting your point across,
Mhm.
but you're also like honoring the other person,
Right.
how they feel.
Exactly. And these are such valuable guidelines.
Yeah.
Right. I think when we think about effective communication, it is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, whether it's personal
Professional, anything.
or professional.
Mm.
But when communication breaks down, so do relationships, right?
Yeah.
Conflicts escalate, productivity declines.
Yeah.
And so Molly really, like, one of the first things is to do a communication style assessment.
Okay, communication style assessment.
Yeah, so figure out, like, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses when it comes to communication?
Right. Knowing yourself is key.
Yeah, that's self-awareness again.
Yeah.
So crucial.
Because once you know how you communicate,
Yeah.
you can also like start to learn about other people's styles, and then
Mhm.
that helps you communicate better.
Right, avoid those misunderstandings.
Misunderstandings can be a big problem.
They can.
Yeah.
And of course we have, once again, active listening.
Always come back to active listening.
It's a skill. It takes practice, conscious effort,
Yeah.
but the payoff is huge.
It is.
When we
Right.
truly listen to someone, we show them respect,
Mm.
we build trust, and we create that space for open, honest communication.
Right. And then there's the whole like conflict resolution thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, conflict is going to happen.
It's going to happen, yeah.
Part of life.
It's part of being human.
But it's how we approach it that really matters.
Yeah, Molbogang encourages us to approach conflict in a very constructive way,
Okay.
with empathy, active listening,
Right.
and really focusing on solutions
Yeah.
that work for everyone.
Not just about winning or losing.
It's not about winning or losing at all.
It's about understanding.
It's about seeing it as an opportunity, right?
Exactly.
For growth, for understanding.
Yeah, I love that.
Now, are you ready to scale new heights?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Because Chapter 8 is all about goal setting and achievement.
Okay, goal setting. Yes.
Imagine this majestic mountain. It represents your goal.
Okay. The mountain is my goal.
And with each step you take, you're getting closer to that summit.
Closer and closer.
Yeah. So what stood out to you in this chapter?
Well, the book really stresses how important it is to set SMART goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, specific,
Specific,
measurable,
achievable,
achievable,
Close by.
relevant, and time-bound.
time-bound. Those
Well-
SMART goals.
It's about, like, making a plan
Yeah,
to make it happen. It's not just enough to dream big.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the book has a really great action plan.
Action plan.
Yeah, to kind of help you break down those goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Right.
Figure out what resources you need.
Because those big goals can feel really overwhelming.
They can.
But if you break them down into smaller steps, it's much easier to actually do them.
Exactly. It's less intimidating.
Yeah.
And Molbogang also emphasizes the importance of accountability.
The accountability.
Right. So having, someone that you trust,
Right.
like a friend or a mentor or even a coach,
A coach, yeah.
to help you stay on track, share your goals with.
It's amazing how much more we actually do the things we say we're going to do. When we have someone like checking in on us,
Yeah.
someone to be accountable to,
It's true.
it's like having a cheerleader in your corner.
Absolutely. Now, Chapter 9 is all about embracing the inevitable,
Okay, what's
embracing change and growth.
change and growth?
And Molbogang uses this, like, really beautiful analogy
Okay.
of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
It's about recognizing that change is an essential part of life,
It is.
and resisting it only causes stagnation and unhappiness.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow.
Ride the waves.
Ride the waves,
Spirit-
change.
yeah.
So it's about seeing it as an opportunity
Right.
for growth and transformation, not something to be afraid of.
Yeah. So how do we actually embrace change?
Well, one of the techniques that really stood out to me was identifying resisted changes.
Resisted changes. Right?
Right. So those areas where you feel a little stuck or uncomfortable or even fearful.
Yeah, like where are you digging your heels in?
Right.
Where's the resistance?
And then it's about, starting with small steps
Small steps. There it is again.
to move through that resistance.
And remember to be kind to yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Self-compassion is so important, especially when things are hard.
Yeah.
We tend to be really hard on ourselves when we struggle,
Yeah.
but when we're kind to ourselves, it just makes it a lot easier
That kind of-
to actually move through those tough times.
Yeah. It's about recognizing that change can be difficult
Yeah,
and that we're doing the best that we can.
you're doing great.
And then once we've got that self-compassion kind of dialed in, right,
Mm-hmm.
then we can start stepping out of our comfort zones
Ooh, getting out of that comfort zone.
and taking some calculated risks. What are your thoughts on that?
Taking risks is so important.
Yeah,
If we stay in our comfort zone all the time, it can get really boring.
it can.
So getting out there and trying new things, even in small ways,
Yeah,
can really help you grow.
it can lead to new discoveries, new opportunities.
Exactly.
All right. Are you ready for a nice, soothing bath?
I am. I need that.
Chapter 10 is all about practicing self-care.
Self-care. Ah.
And Mola Boging paints this beautiful image of a warm, soothing bath
Okay.
filled with nourishing essential oils.
Oh, that sounds
For your
amazing.
relaxation and rejuvenation.
I love that.
So it's a great reminder that self-care is not a luxury.
It's not.
It's a necessity.
It really is.
It's essential.
It's how you take care of yourself.
It's how you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that you can show up as your best self in every area of your life.
You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
You can't.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you took away from this chapter?
Mola Bogan is really big on emphasizing that self-care is about all of you.
Yeah.
Physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It's mind, body, and spirit.
It's all connected.
It really is.
It's holistic.
So it's about taking care of all those things so that you can feel your best
Exactly.
and have the energy to do what you need to do.
So how do we make this a reality? Because everyone's so busy.
Right.
Mola Boging suggests that you identify what activities actually nourish you,
Okay.
what recharges you, what are those essential self-care practices.
So, like, figure out what works for you,
Yeah.
whether it's going out in nature or listening to music,
Yeah.
doing something creative,
Yeah.
or even just, like, taking a few minutes to close your eyes and breathe.
Yeah.
It's about finding those things that make you feel good.
And then you got to make it a non-negotiable part of your routine.
Right.
Schedule it,
Put it in your calendar.
just like you would anything else that's important.
Yeah. Make time for you.
And don't forget the self-compassion practices.
Right. Be kind to yourself.
Treat yourself like you would treat a dear friend.
Exactly.
Okay, get ready for the symphony of self-awareness.
What's this?
Because Chapter 11 is all about developing emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Okay, so imagine a conductor leading an orchestra.
Okay.
That's you.
I'm the conductor.
Harmonizing your emotions, your thoughts,
Okay.
your actions.
That's a good image.
It's about understanding
Okay.
and managing your own emotions.
Right.
Having empathy for others.
Empathy.
And communicating effectively in those emotionally charged situations.
You know, emotional intelligence is about, like, mastering your emotions, right?
Yeah.
So that they don't control you.
Exactly. And so the book defines it as recognizing and understanding emotions,
Okay.
both in yourself
In yourself.
and in others.
Yeah.
And it involves all those key things that we've been talking about.
Right.
Empathy, self-awareness, and clear communication.
So what are some ways that we can actually develop emotional intelligence?
One of the techniques that resonated with me was identifying challenging emotions.
Okay. Challenging emotions.
Yeah, it's about noticing like what triggers certain emotions in you
Okay.
and practicing labeling them
Labeling.
and accepting them without judgment.
Right. Not pushing them away.
Yeah, because often our first instinct is to push them away.
Yeah. Just like, get rid of them. But
But this is like, no, lean into them.
yeah, lean in.
Try to understand them better.
Feel it to heal it.
Right.
That kind of thing.
It's like becoming an observer of your own emotional landscape.
I like that.
Right. Being the observer.
Noticing those feelings without getting swept away by
Yeah,
them.
you don't want to get swept away.
And then there's the idea of practicing emotional awareness through mindfulness and self-reflection.
Oh, there we go again.
There it is again.
Mindfulness.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, mindfulness and self-reflection, they really can be super powerful
Yeah.
for understanding your emotions. You pay attention to them,
Mm-hmm.
you reflect on your experiences,
Yeah.
maybe even ask for feedback from people you trust.
Mm-hmm.
And that can really help you understand, what's going on emotionally.
It's like becoming a detective of your own emotional world.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then, empathy.
Empathy.
Something we've talked about.
Always good to have empathy. Always.
Hmm.
And so the book encourages us to practice empathy by really listening to others,
Mm-hmm.
trying to see things from their perspective,
Mm.
and communicating with compassion.
Empathy is really the foundation for having strong, healthy relationships.
It is.
It helps us connect with people,
Yeah.
build trust,
Mm.
resolve conflict better.
It does. All right, grand finale.
The grand finale.
Chapter 12, Sustaining Momentum and Progress.
Ooh,
Huh?
okay. How do we keep it going?
Molabogan compares this to a roaring fire.
A roaring fire.
It symbolizes your passion
My passion.
and your momentum.
Keep the fire burning.
Yeah, and tending that fire
Yeah.
keeps those flames of success burning bright.
So it's about recognizing that this is a journey, right?
It is.
Personal growth is a journey, not a destination.
It is a journey. It's ongoing.
And to keep going, you need to put in effort.
You do. What were some of the strategies for sustaining momentum that worked for you?
Well, the book says that it's really important to identify what motivates you, like figure out what really drives you.
Hmm.
And there's two parts to that.
Okay.
There's the internal stuff, like your passions and values.
Yeah.
And then the external stuff, like the rewards and recognition you get.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, understanding that, like what really motivates you,
Yeah.
helps you stay on track.
Especially when things get tough.
Yeah, because they will.
They will.
So it's good to have like that reserve tank of
Yeah.
motivation to tap into.
Yeah, I like that. And then there's that idea of breaking down those large goals into smaller, more manageable milestones.
Small steps, small wins, celebrate everything.
Celebrate all the wins.
Yeah, because celebrating even those small wins can be really motivating.
It is.
And it helps you stay on track.
It keeps you going.
You feel good about yourself. You're like, I can do this.
Yeah, and you get that sense of accomplishment along the way.
You're making progress.
And then Molabogan also recommends having accountability partners.
Accountability partners.
Yeah, so having someone,
Having that person there to like keep you accountable, celebrate with you.
keep you accountable, share your goals with,
Yeah.
celebrate those wins,
And be there when things are hard.
and support you through those tough times.
Yeah.
Makes a world of difference. And to keep that fire burning, Molabogan says it's important to acknowledge your progress too.
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in like what you haven't done yet
Yeah,
that you forget to look back and be like, wow, I've come a long way.
we do. What are your thoughts on that?
I think taking time to reflect on your wins, even the small ones, can really help you stay motivated.
Yeah.
It reinforces your belief that you can actually achieve your goals.
Yeah.
And it gives you that little boost
It
to
does.
get going.
So we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
from setting intentions
Yeah.
to building resilience,
Resilience.
to nurturing relationships,
Relationships.
and even mastering our emotions.
Yeah, it's amazing how Molabogan really brings all these different aspects of personal growth together and shows how they all contribute to like a sense of well-being and
Yeah.
fulfillment. It's all these different pieces
Yeah.
fit together to create this like beautiful picture.
It really is a holistic approach to self-empowerment.
Yeah.
What stood out to you as particularly insightful or transformative?
Well, I was really struck by how much Molabogan talks about self-compassion.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a theme that runs through the whole book.
It does.
From setting intentions to overcoming your fears to practicing self-care, it's like always there.
Yeah.
It's a really important reminder that we need to be kind to ourselves
Yeah.
if we want to grow and feel good.
I love that. Self-compassion is so often overlooked.
Yeah, it is.
Yet it's like the
I love the
foundation
way.
for everything else. When we treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, we create this space, right?
Yeah, it's like creating a safe space.
A safe space for growth and transformation.
Exactly.
What about you? What really resonated with you?
For me, it was mindfulness.
Mindfulness, yeah.
I've always been interested in mindfulness, but this book really showed me like how to actually use it
Yeah,
in my everyday life.
yeah.
And, It's amazing how just a few minutes of mindfulness can totally change your perspective,
Oh, yeah.
reduce stress, and just make you feel better overall.
It's such a powerful practice. And I think, like you said, anyone can benefit from it.
Yeah, anyone.
Doesn't matter your background or beliefs.
Yeah.
And Mobilegan gives you all these different techniques, right?
Yeah, there's something for everyone.
From meditation
Action?
to just bringing more awareness to what you're already doing every day.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you
Yeah.
and making it part of your routine.
And you know what I love? The book doesn't just like give you all these different concepts, but it shows you how they're all connected.
Oh, yeah.
Right? How mindfulness can make you more self-aware,
Mm.
and then that helps you communicate better, which makes your relationships stronger.
Yeah, it's like this beautiful cycle.
It is, of growth and empowerment.
I agree. It's like Malibagan created this roadmap, not just for achieving specific goals,
Yeah.
but for like living a more fulfilling, meaningful life.
Right. And it's not like you read it once and you're done. It's something
Wow.
you can keep coming back to
You can.
again and again.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Empowerment Guide, I'm curious, what's one key takeaway that you'll be carrying with you?
Well, for me, it's that reminder that self-empowerment is an ongoing journey.
Yeah.
It never ends. It's about always learning and growing
Yeah.
and changing. And the best way to do that
Yeah.
is with self-compassion, a growth mindset, and a willingness to embrace change.
Beautifully said. And I think for me, the key takeaway is the importance of taking action.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just read the book and feel inspired.
You got to do something.
You got to put it into practice, even if it's just one small thing like a gratitude journal
Yeah.
or 5 minutes of meditation every day. That can make a huge difference over time.
It really can.
So listeners, remember, you don't have to do everything at once.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Start small, one chapter, one practice,